Here we are, everybody, at CES 2024. I'm at the SVS booth because it is day 2, and by the way, we are running a special on the Spatial Audio Calibration Toolkit. Use the code CES15 to get 15% off your order. Go to spatialcd.com. Nick, how are you doing? It's great to see you, man.
It is amazing to see you, Chana. It's always a pleasure to hang out with Techno Dad.
By the way, if you skipped on CES, you skipped on a bad thing, because look at this in white. It looks so sexy. What do we got here? Nick, tell us.
So this represents the culmination of everything SVS has learned about speaker engineering and design and technology since we launched the original Ultra Series, which was 12 years ago. And you know, that's a long time for a product refresh, but when we do a product refresh, as you know, we do it big. And so we did a complete breakdown of the original and recreated an entirely new ecosystem of a loudspeaker series to really bring performance to a new level at price points that didn't exist before. And I can dive into some of the technology here, but I think it sort of starts with the cabinet.
This actually looks like a hi-fi speaker. Has SVS grown up? We started with subwoofers, right? You did some towers, you had the Ultra line, then you made the primes, and then the Atmos channels. You got cables, you got little feet for the subwoofers. Now we've got a cabinet that has like a built-in time alignment here, right? Like a hi-fi speaker.
Very observant.
Very perceptive.
That's right. You know, and not to say that these won't perform awesome for home theater, because one of the hallmarks of SVS is you can have the big dynamics, the bass, that sort of excitement that you expect if you're watching cinematic experiences, but then also the refinement, the clarity, the accuracy, the elements that I think a lot of people who do critical listening really take into account, and I think that's where you're going to see the biggest jump forward with these, with that acoustically centered time alignment. So essentially all of these drivers, the 2 woofers and the 2 mid-rangers and the tweeter, are all aligned on a single vertical plane. And what that allows it to do is deliver the sound to your ear at the exact same instant. So when you're talking about what an artist or a director intended you to hear, it's going to be that ultimate truthfulness of sound. But there's also a point source story. Everything is centered around the tweeter, and this is a completely new tweeter design as well. You know, our Ultra Series, the original tweeter, we used a very similar design on our Prime Series. They're all timbre matched, so you can blend them together. And we didn't lose that with this one, but what we did is now it's a diamond-coated aluminum dome tweeter. You're talking audiophile? They're gonna love a diamond-coated
yeah, right. I got diamonds in my grill. Now I got diamonds in my grill. Oh!
So what we've done is use this thing called a vapor deposition technique, and this is essentially how they do lab-grown diamonds. And what it allowed us to do is take that aluminum dome tweeter and bring the breakout frequency to about 50,000 hertz, 50 kilohertz, which is well beyond the level of audibility for human hearing, but it actually has benefits. So when you're hearing the crash of a cymbal, the screeching of a tire in an audio sequence, you're not going to get any of that harshness. You're not going to get any of that breakup where it's just not able to hear it. You're getting very airy, very unveiled highs, that sense of breathiness when you get a female vocalist. All of that is going to be retained with absolute precision. And even in the lower octaves of that treble region, you're able to blend it a lot more seamlessly with the mid-ranges. So that's all with that diamond-coated aluminum tweeter technique that we've done. And then even the little diffuser you see here, this is using a semi-irregular organic lattice structure based on like real organic cellular designs. And what we did was go through about 25 different prototypes of tweeter diffusers before we settled on this one, because this gives you the best dispersion characteristics. Obviously it's there to protect the tweeter, but it does a lot to, again, create that ultimate large sweet spot and bring you the best sound quality no matter where you're sitting in the room. So that's just some of the story as far as the front goes.
The front. Yes, I'm glad you said that, because I was going to say there's speakers on the back of this too. So tell us about that.
There's some junk in the trunk, but
there's some junk in the trunk.
There's nothing junky about it. See these 2 bass drivers here?
Yeah.
You essentially have 2 woofers on the rear cabinet aligned with these as well. And much like you see with our 3000 micro subwoofer here, we've used that same force balanced array. So basically these woofers are in parallel. So they go in and they go out together, which creates cancellation of energy when you're talking about cabinet resonances and things that can create distortion, muddy up the sound. That is not present at all, because you're getting complete force cancellation. There's no resonance whatsoever, but you're still able to get that authoritative bass with absolute precision, because again, 6.5 inch woofers here in 4 different spots on a tower. You essentially have 8 different woofers when you have a pair of them, all firing in different directions. So you're going to clear out a lot of those room nodes, and they could still benefit from some spatial audio calibration, don't get me wrong,
right.
but it gets you one step closer to having that nice even bass response.
So would you say, like, with the woofers and the ports on the back of this thing, what would be your recommended, like, away from wall distance? Like, how many feet back are,
You know, that's a great question. And, you know,
oh, I stumped Nick.
No, you didn't, because
okay.
we thought about this one. So if you look on the back of the grill, it's actually got a same curved architecture. So even if you pushed it up flat against the wall, the woofer on the top and the woofer on the bottom already have a built-in about 2 inches of clearance. Now, obviously, giving them a little bit more room to breathe is only going to enhance the soundstage. Sure. So I'd say at a minimum, maybe 6 inches or so, a foot, you're going to get a little bit more benefit. But as you know, a lot of it is contingent on the room. Sure. But because, again, you have that angled back part of the cabinet, you have that built-in space. So again, if you have a tight area where you're trying to squeeze these in, you get
right?
Nice,
it's all about the curvature of that rear end, right?
I know. I just can't do enough of this. But a couple other little features, I know. We're having fun here, but these are a technology masterpiece. Don't get it wrong. First cabinet we've ever had with magnetic grills, so nice clean front baffle there. We've also have, these will be our first full series that is in white gloss, as well as the black gloss, as well as the black ash. The black oak wood veneer finish. Right. To walk you through the line.
I was going to tell you, I was like, I want them in white. I don't care which ones you send, just send them all in white, because I like the storm.
I mean, they're gorgeous, and the way that they have, again, with the curve and just the look of them, it's a very lifestyle-friendly product that I think most people would be happy to have in their living space or in their listening room.
Now, there's a lot of them, right?
So yeah, so this is, again, our most ambitious product launch we've ever done. There's going to be 7 different models. 5 of them will be available later in Q1, with 2 of them coming a little bit later. This is actually the middle of the road tower. This is called our Ultra Evolution Titan Tower. Titan. Okay. And then in our listening room in there,
I heard those.
Demoing is our Ultra Evolution Pinnacle Tower, and then the smaller version will just be our Ultra Evolution Tower.
Got it.
Now we'll still have a 3-way dedicated center channel speaker. We'll also have 2 bookshelves, what we're calling our Ultra Evolution Bookshelf, which is the larger version, and then our Ultra Evolution Nano, which will be a little bit more of a compact bookshelf speaker. And then I think something that is probably the most in-demand SVS product since we've launched our Prime Elevation. The Ultra Elevation will be here coming later in Q1. So anyone who wants to get a little bit more dynamic impact, a little bit more low frequency extension from their height effects, same bracket, super easy to mount on the sidewalls or high on the ceiling. So all of that will be the same, but you'll just get a little bit more fidelity and a little bit more impact from that new speaker.
And so as far as pricing goes, Nick and I already talked about what a 5.1 or a 5 ear level speakers with the 4 new height channels. On the lowest end, meaning the smallest bookshelves, we were looking around, what was it, $4,000 or $5,000?
Yeah, for a full system, between $4,000 and $5,000. You know,
and then depending on which sub you want, you would have to add that into the equation. But starting off with the bookshelf speakers and then moving up to this at some point in time, I think these look cool. I can't wait to actually hear them in my room, because hearing them here it's nice and all. But by the way, I played my subwoofer test from our disc in here, and man, at 16 hertz, those things were flapping. It was great.
There were some people who were just like looking around. They weren't sure what they were feeling at that point. They might have thought there was a seismic event happening.
That, or they had to go to the bathroom. One of the two.
It could be both. So yeah, we couldn't be more excited. And like we do, these are going to be sort of the flagship. But then we're going to take a lot of this technology that we've developed and we'll trickle it down in time. So this is sort of the birth of a new version of SVS. And where we see these competing is with speakers that we've never been compared to before. And we welcome that competition. We want to know what everyone thinks about them, because we've certainly put a lot of effort into them over the last 12 years getting them to this point.
Well, that's what I noticed. Like, you guys called this your evolution, and that's why I started in the beginning with subwoofers, then you did towers, then you had some cables, and then we did into the lower line, the primes, and then the height channels, which everybody loves. I love them. And now we are here. This is the evolution of not just sound, but the company itself, right? So I think that's pretty huge.
That's very well said. I mean, that is why we came up with that naming convention, is because we wanted people to view it as a transcendent step forward for what SVS is trying to accomplish in the world of audio, but also bringing it to more people. You know, that is truly, it's what's in our DNA. We want to create these really aspirational products that deliver performance that competes with much more expensive, but we want to make it attainable at a point where, you know, again, more people can just enjoy the benefits and love hi-fi and grow the hobby.
Right, right. All right, so I know there's a lot of pricing involved, but just for the viewers, let's just talk about the 3 towers.
Yep.
What are your price points?
Very simple. The smallest tower will be $3,000. The mid tower we're seeing here will be $4,000 for the pair, and then the largest tower will be $5,000 for the pair.
You heard that, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a pair, respectively, from smallest to largest.
I mean, this has just been super exciting as far as being at the show here. The
I didn't even know you guys were here until other people are like, yo, SVS.
This is what happens when I try to do a soft launch. It's like one word gets out and then everyone comes around. But I'm so happy that we're able to tell the story here, because like I wasn't sure how we were going to tell the story. We were going to try to work it out while on the fly. And here we are right in front of the gauntlet. But the excitement is palpable. Like we can feel that people have wanted this for a long time. Yeah. And we're so happy that we can deliver something that is creating this kind of excitement.
Well, I'm excited for you guys, and I'm also excited to try these in my home. So you guys let me know, which ones do you want me to review, and then I'll let Nick know, and then yeah, we'll make it happen.
The last thing I'll say is we are planning a bunch of events. You know, that's one thing that SVS does is we like to go around the country. So we'll have a little bit of a rolling launch party with these two, so stay tuned for details on that.
Are you guys gonna be at Expona?
Definitely be at Expona, you'll be able to hear these. Florida Audio Expo as well, you'll be able to hear these. Okay. So there's some opportunities for some of the audio shows coming
I'm actually going to Expona to like DJ.
Oh, no kidding?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so it's gonna be great. So I can't wait to see him there. And Nick, as always, man, thank you so much. And you guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll have more CES 2024 coverage coming at you.
Get your calibration audio kit.
Love it. I was actually going to do that, you know. You got to wake it up.
Instantaneous timing, but it also
Okay, you know, because I like my lips feel all chapped and shit. But see, this is why I love Nick, because
roll with it.
He just goes.